everybody. UFC 306 post show we just watched. Um, Merab Dvalishvili blanket Sean O'Malley on his way to unanimous decision, which, by the way, um, some judges actually had Sean winning a couple rounds. In my opinion, I didn't really see a single round for Sean O'Malley in this fight. He got totally washed over the course of 25 minutes, and to even score a one round for him is just absolutely ridiculous. Before the fight happened, there was Sal D'Amato, Chris Lee, and Mike Bell were the three judges. I knew at that moment, I was like, geez, this is going to be some shenanigans. And not only did Merab fight Sean O'Malley tonight, but he also fought Herb Dean. Herb Dean was doing a lot of weird stuff, like telling Merab to fight while he was literally fighting, telling him to work while he's working on the ground, on the feet. Just some strange shit, honestly, from Herb Dean tonight, in my opinion. But overall, I definitely thought that the fight could go this way, but I did not. I officially picked Sean O'Malley to get it done by knockout, but certainly was a possibility. At least I thought. Oh, and my mic's not even fucking plugged in. So there you go. But yeah, what were you guys' thoughts on the fight? Let me know in the comments. We got Kobe in here, who will do a post show. I always do the post shows, so yeah. Matua, fuck yeah. What is up, Kobe? Good to see you. Where's Hank? I don't know. Doesn't matter. W. Herb Dean. Yeah, definitely was weird to see Herb Dean pulling some Herb Dean shit in there today. Terrible fight. Yeah, definitely was a terrible fight, but I'm just happy to see Sean O'Malley lose, personally. Sean O'Malley in the cage definitely is a skilled guy. Sean O'Malley outside the cage, not a fan of the guy. What is up, Anakin? Good to see you, my friend. What would you rate the card 1 to 10? Certainly, every fight outside of the main and co-main event was pretty damn good. So, I mean, but, obviously these cards are rated on the headlining fights, so I think it's a strong. It might even be an 8, but I probably will go 7. UFC will give Merab a quick turnaround versus Umar. He won't have the belt for that long, and that's why I wanted to do a press conference reaction, because I don't know what I suspect that Dana White will not be very happy with Merab personally. I thought it was a good fight. Boring 5th round. I mean, the whole fight was pretty much just a repeat of the first round, just like the co-main event, in my opinion. But yeah, I wanted to pull up this MMA Decisions website really fast, because I wanted to see. I don't know if we have the scorecards just yet for this fight. Let's see. Rob, yeah, scorecards are not in just yet. But yeah, definitely, like I said, a possibility for sure that Merab would just blanket Sean over the course of 5 rounds. But I guess I just thought that Sean O'Malley would have some moments of success. We've seen Merab hurt before by lesser fighters. And Sean O'Malley did nothing to Merab this whole entire fight. If I bring up the stats here. One thing that I will say, though, that was interesting to me is I thought this was Merab's easiest fight. Easiest fight that I've ever seen him in. Barely broke a sweat in there. There was a moment where just before a takedown, he got cut. He was leaking a little bit. I want to see Sean O'Malley move up and fight Max or Ilya. I mean, I understand that. I think we should see what he wants. I'm sure he would want to get a rematch, but just like the style of fight that he would have to be in, I don't know if he wants to go through that again. Let's go to Fight Center here. And I am waiting for this press conference to start. But I'm hoping that we get a fiery Dana White here. But yeah, I mean, as far as Merab moving or Sean moving up, I don't hate that. But Sean O'Malley's had so much success at bantamweight. You know, why move up now? Certainly not opposed to it though. It was boring, but the judges' scorecards was a bit off for me. Yeah, tell me what they were, because I think some judges had it 2 rounds. I think I heard a 48, and then I thought I heard like a 10-8 somewhere. I don't know. I'm waiting for MMA Decisions to actually get the scorecards in. They don't just yet, which is weird. But again, waiting for this. Okay, so it's in 10 minutes. The press conference is in 10 minutes, so we got a little bit of time. Let's see. Let me pull up Fight Center quickly. So you can see here that, let me get a different screen up. Yeah, that's whatever. You can see here that they had Sean officially landing 49 strikes over 25 minutes. So less than 10 strikes around. Got knocked the fuck out. What's up, AJ? He's a little slender for the weight class. Yeah, for 145, I agree. But again, like, I'm not opposed to him moving up. I think that's an interesting prospect, especially after this fight. But yeah, look at that. Almost 100 more strikes landed from Rob. I wouldn't say any of them were like punishing blows. Sean O'Malley targeting the head and body, as the same amount. 2 leg kicks landed for Sean O'Malley. This whole fight is crazy, and obviously 10 minutes of control time and 6 takedowns officially for Merab is just fascinating. Definitely, like I said, a way I thought that this fight could go, but just not the way I was expecting the fight to happen. The last 2 fights, you can see ground game really impact the fight with control of time, but boring as hell. Yeah, I totally agree. I was not happy watching the Shevchenko versus Grasso fight, but certainly watching the Merab fight, I was pretty happy just because it was good to see Sean, finally lose after all that trash talk. And I mean, it is what it is. This was, in hindsight, a bad style matchup for Sean. But again, I officially picked him to win by knockout. Just thinking about how the fight would go, the fact that Merab.
Congratulations.
Okay, it's Diego Lopez.
Did you think you had him when you hit him with that big
I'm actually
shot?
going to turn this off for a second because I want to see the man Dana White speak to the media is really all I'm interested in. Let's mute that. Okay, so we'll talk about the next fight. Let me pull it up. Yes, Juice Man. I know Juice Man's happy. And Juice Man just really hates Mr. Sean O'Malley quite a bit, understandably. I know he was happy watching this fight. So let's go to the next fight here. Obviously, it was Valentina Shevchenko winning every single round against Alexa Grasso, which is just hilarious. These striking stats seem to be totally off to me because I didn't really see Grasso do much of anything at all. But you can see 16 minutes of control time for Val. Hank texted me. Asked me if I want to do a post show. I'm doing one right now. Let's see what we got. What the fuck did I say? Yeah, for sure. That kiss from Merab was hilarious. Definitely a strange first couple rounds. Merab's activity was entertaining to watch because there was an actual danger of a finish. I'm like, Shevchenko, yes, exactly, Sniff. CST, what's up, bro? I think that least amount of damage that I've seen inflicted over a pair of back-to-back title fights. That is a fantastic point, Black Betty. Valentina looked huge compared to Grasso. I'm glad that you said that because for my eye, Valentina definitely looked big, but I think it was more of a thing of like Grasso just looking smaller than I've seen her before. But yeah, you can see here that Valentina just cleaned up on poor old Alexa Grasso. I mean, there's really not much to say about this fight. In my opinion, Alexa, I think she may have just gotten confident that she could just straight up sub Valentina off of their first fight. And it seemed like that was the game plan coming into this fight. Just sub her. Valentina beat her everywhere. Alexa never really had a moment. At least in the main event, you had that moment where Sean was hitting Merab to the body in the last round. And you kind of got the sense that maybe a fifth round Hail Mary finish could be incoming. But yeah, in this fight in particular, like literally Valentina just washed Alexa Grasso completely. Again, picked Alexa Grasso to win. These women have officially fought for 65 minutes now at this point, which is just ridiculous. Nobody wants to see a fourth fight between them, but I fear that that might be the fight that happens, which would just suck. Still don't have those scorecards for Merab and Sean, which is just fucking weird. Grasso's infant sloth takedown defense techniques was compelling to watch. Yeah, I disagree. I mean, good win for Valentina. I definitely thought that it would. I really didn't know how to pick the fight, but yeah, certainly Valentina gets her belt back, and I think Manon Fiorot is really the only fight that makes sense in that weight class. Obviously, you could run Grasso and Shevchenko back. It would be a terrible fight. But yeah, I don't know. A draw, and she's 1-1-1 now with Alexa Grasso, which is interesting. The next fight was Brian Ortega. Speaking of somebody who had no success in a fight, Brian Ortega got his ass absolutely handed to him over the course of 15 minutes. I didn't see a moment for Brian Ortega, but unlike the top two fights, Brian Ortega got dropped. He got hurt. There was a 10-8 round. I don't think that there's officially no knockdowns for Diego Lopez. Not sure if these stats have been updated yet, but I definitely feel like I at least saw a knockdown or two from Diego Lopez. He outlands Brian Ortega 113-69. Again, you see, mostly headhunting, but mixed it up well. Had almost over 2.5 minutes of control time. What the fuck is up with Brian Ortega, man? Anyone know why Lopez is grabbing his throat constantly? I didn't really see that because the Canelo Alvarez fight was going on at the same time as this. But he is speaking to the media right now. Maybe he'll answer that. Just waiting for Dana White to pull up, and then I can end the stream. Lopez had an allergic reaction. I thought Lopez would wash him. Yeah, you were absolutely correct. Maybe he was allergic to terrible fighters with terrible defense. I thought that, Brian Ortega's only way to win was to just pull it out of his ass like he always does after getting his ass beat. Traditional Brian Ortega style. But, yeah, man, Lopez is that dude. Brian Ortega is not. I think that Brian Ortega is going to move up to lightweight after this, but who really knows where he goes from here. He got beat up really bad. He always does, unless he's fighting Korean Zombie. So I don't know, like behind the scenes, how he is to deal with. I know that he does want to go up to lightweight. I would like to see him do that. I think that he'd probably get hurt even worse up at lightweight, but who knows? Maybe his chin, maybe he could take a better strike up at lightweight. Yeah. The next fight was Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovic, a split decision win for Esteban Ribovic. I thought that Daniel Zellhuber was winning I thought he won the first 2 rounds, and then there was a 10-8 in the third. So I actually thought it would be a draw, but definitely was a close round or two in there. I mean, Esteban, though, 156-121 officially. I thought that, in like 70 of those strikes come from that third round, which was a firefight. And as Matua says, gorgeous fight. We're robbed of a draw. I certainly had it a draw, but it is what it is. Daniel Zellhuber, man, he was throwing good elbows, good jabs. But Esteban Ribovic, man, his plan was move forward, throw strikes, and eventually he finally connected with one, rocked Zellhuber bad in that third round, and damn near finished him, which is why I thought there would be a 10-8. But ultimately wasn't able to get him out of there. But he does get a split decision win over him. Good win for Ribovich, man. I've counted him out in every single fight in the UFC that he's had, and he gets it done, man. Fantastic prospect at lightweight, knocking out Terrence McKinney. Then he picked off the actual real good prospect here in Daniel Zellhuber. Good stuff from our guy, Esteban Ribovich. Ortega is washed, in my opinion. I don't know the MMA game like I know boxing, but I can look at a combat fighter and kind of know. The thing about Brian Ortega that's hard to decipher is he gets beat up bad in a lot of his fights. I mean, even if you go back to the Frankie Edgar fight, he was getting beat before he knocked out Frankie Edgar with that up kick. So it's hard to tell. But, I mean, I just don't think he has good defense, and he still hasn't really improved his striking game very much. So, yeah, him going up to lightweight is there's bigger punchers up there. But, again, maybe his chin, maybe his durability will be a little better up a weight class. What is up, Hank the Tank? Good to see you, my friend. Ortega, durability, astonishing. So far, no Dana at post-fight. He might come later, or he might not want to answer questions about new champs. Yeah, I'm hoping he does come, because that's the whole reason why I put post-fight press conference reaction. All eyes on Chico. But yeah, it's good win for Esteban Ribovich. Contrary to popular belief, I do not hate Argentina. We then had Ronaldo Rodriguez getting a UD over Ode Osborne. Another fight where I thought there would be a draw because of the 10-8 round in the first the first one. I hate my life. Why is that, CLP? Let me know. If I were Dana, I'd split. Send a message. CLP, me too. Caposa and Tapology were wrong. I thought Hank rage quit the stream. Did he? Where are my Mexicans at? Let's go. Robbed of another draw. Exactly. Deep is tomorrow. Oh, shit. So it's Sunday night? Shit. Hank, how are you going? Waited until the final bell, and then he just dipped out. Umar versus Merab is going to be interesting. Definitely a better style matchup. Hopefully it's a more interesting fight than both of these two's last fight. Okay, so Diego Lopez is left. Hopefully we get Dana next. Let me actually pull. Well, all right, we'll go to the next fight. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought there would be a 10-8 in this fight. Ode Osborne clipped Ronaldo Rodriguez early. And I thought that he was going to get a finish for sure. But Ronaldo Rodriguez, man, he came back. He out-grappled Ode. He struck with him. Ode Osborne, kind of a one-trick pony. Even though he did throw up some good submission attempts that were decent, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I definitely picked Ronaldo Rodriguez to win by sub, but overall it was a fantastic fight. I thought that there should have been a 10-8, but I don't know. I guess they're being pretty lenient with 10-8s these days. It is what it is. Let me refresh this page and see if we finally get those scorecards, if we ever do. Yeah, I don't know why we don't have the scorecards on MMA decisions yet. It's so weird. I need those scorecards, man. But yeah. So yeah, let's see. $20 million production value on horrible graphics. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Hank and I will on our proper breakdown show. But man, I didn't really hate the graphics. I don't know. I thought it was cool to see the UFC do something different. Dana, he's like the Mr. No Fun. Certainly I've been called that myself, but yeah, Dana, Mr. No Fun, and he actually did something different and I guess somewhat fun. I wasn't really a big fan of all the graphics, but good for the UFC. And you know what? The crowd enjoyed it, so that's what matters at the end of the day. And like I said, just like watching it on TV, it was good, I guess. Not really for me, but you know what? We need pageantry in MMA, and that's what we got. So good on the UFC. Just change the rules to allow knees. No problem solved. I 100% agree. Maine and Co were excellent. Nah, they weren't. Rogan salivating. Pressure from the bullet. I was watching with my IU Hoosers at the time of that fight, so I missed most of it. Well, no worries. O'Malley looked horrendous. Can't hate on Murad for executing game plan everyone expected him to employ on O'Malley not being aggressive. 100%. Like I said, definitely a possibility, but just not exactly the way I thought the fight would go. I thought that Sean would have like some moments, at least, but he didn't really have any aside from the 5th round when he appeared to hurt Murad to the body. Animations were awesome, and the ring card girls were cool. It was no history of Mexico. Well, you didn't get the Mayan pyramids and all that stuff. Skate a man of culture. Danny versus Lara. I stopped watching. Look at my NCAA team. Yeah, that was terrible. Dana White is burning inside, acted having Bilal and Valentina Shevchenko and Murad. Dvalishvili really become UFC champions this year. I know, dude. He is not having a good time. I wanted to throw my TV out the balcony. Jeez. Ribovic and Zellhuber was the shit. Cards saving grace. Yeah, I totally agree. LFA was 10,000 times better than this. I thought the undercard was fantastic. Just the 2 last events were not good. Definitely something cool for that live arena. I agree. Yeah, 100%. And I'm just glad the UFC did something different because like all their events look exactly the same, nothing new, and it was just cool to see them do something new. It kind of does suck now that they've done this and they're not going to do it again. But O'Malley going to fight Augusto Menez in the locker room. Don't know who that is. You didn't like the Diego fight? Oh, geez. Hank and Isha just going back and forth here. I like the animations went through history of Mexico and went from ancient Mexico to modern Mexico. It was cool. Dumont looked amazing. Yeah, I agree, man. I thought that and we can talk about that fight. Ortega is a punching bag. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what's next for him. He's got to figure it out, man. Got to get right. Get this the fuck out of here. Yeah, look at that. Almost 100 more strikes landed from Norman Dumont. Mostly to the head, mixed it up to the body and legs. Good. No control time. If this was a straight up kickboxing match, as it was, I thought Rene would win, but no, Norman Dumont, man, technically excellent. I'm out. Sulk away, dude. Hey, have a good night, Isha. Good to see you, man. But yeah, if this was a straight up kickboxing match, I would have expected Irina to win. But no, Norma was technically fantastic tonight. She defense, offense, so on point. Definitely not like a lot of power. But yeah, Irina really couldn't do anything, and she definitely is not the like fast technical kickboxer that I remember, or the boxer that I remember. Only thing I like about Dumont, she requires a hamburger in between 2 hours. Yeah, definitely has a donk on her for sure, Weedy. Yeah, blood in the teeth for sure. Yeah, Hank, I don't know why you're like so upset, but when you do a fight companion, I understand that you want the fights to be exciting. So I guess I can understand that. But let's see if we got these fucking scorecards yet. It's so stupid because we have them. I just don't know why. That makes no sense, but we don't have these scorecards on MMA decisions yet. See if I can look them up. And that seat is still empty. I think they may be waiting for Marab to get ready to speak. Maybe Dana's going to speak really late. Gosh, Hank is just having a bad time right now. But yeah, let's go over these results some more. Here, let's see. Okay. All right, I got the scorecards. Oh, no, I don't. I don't know why. Official scorecards. Got some on the UFC website. All right, here we go. No. All right, here we go. So one judge gave the 5th round to O'Malley. That was Mike Bell. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Sal D'Amato giving the 3rd round and the 5th round. Oh, and Chris Lee giving the 3rd round and the 5th round to O'Malley. So I guess you could give him the 5th, but 3rd round, no way. No way. Oh yeah, smash the like. Thank you, Isha. I appreciate it. Have a good show. I gotta go for a quick run decompressed. Yeah, for sure. You've been streaming all day, brother, so get it done, my friend. The next fight we'll talk about is Manuel Torres getting knocked out in the 1st round by Ignacio Bahamondes. Fantastic win for Bahamondes. The height of this kid at 155 is just going to give everybody trouble. It's kind of like Nabil in Muay Thai. But yeah, man, it was sick. Fantastic win for Bahamondes. He looked so on point. Manuel Torres wanted to get inside and land a big shot and was never really able to do that. Sort of was the same style matchup that I thought as the Zell Huber fight. But 4-1 is fair IMO. 3-2 was a reach. I agree. Tall and not scrawny. Yeah. He's a huge lightweight. But yeah, fantastic win for Bahamondes. We'll talk a little. Yasmin Jauregui. Man, I've been really high on this girl ever since she came into the UFC, and she got slept by Ketlin Souza, club and sub. Gosh, man, I don't know how I'm gonna pick her in the future. She is definitely a hit or miss fighter, man. Like, I don't know. She was such a touted prospect coming in. Now she's still really young, but just taking a lot of damage. Fantastic win for Ketlin Souza. I hate to say that the story of the fight was Yasmin Jauregui losing, but we got to give Ketlin Souza her props, man. She was a huge underdog in this fight, and she got it done. Beautiful punch that puts Yasmin Jauregui down and just subs her out, man. Chokes her out, actually. I picked Joshua Van to win this fight. I was sweating it out. Edgar Chairez looked really good. He hurt Joshua Van. That 2nd round or 3rd round was a fucking absolute banger. And then Joshua Van just kind of hurt him really bad. And then there was a close 3rd round, but ultimately he takes it. Good win for Joshua Van. He gets the unanimous decision there. And then the first fight of the night was Rahul Rosas defeating Arichi Lang. There was a moment in the fight where I thought that Rahul would get a 1st round sub. Ultimately, he does not. But you know what? More importantly, he passes his toughest test at 135 against a vet. Not a really like a top guy, but yeah, a vet and a guy that could have gave him problems and just ultimately was not even a problem for Rahul Rosas. So there you go. Those are your results for the card. I want to bring in some people, but I want to get to this fucking press conference, man. I want to get to Dana White. I want to react to what Dana White has to say to the media. I want to hear him bitch about how Sean O'Malley lost. Let's see. Yeah, still nothing. What do you think about Canelo fight? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Dana Thirsty, many investors. He's young. Only, 19 or 20? Yeah, I think he might even be younger than that. Raul Rosas. Yeah, we'll talk some boxing. Thank you, Matua. Until Dana White shows up. Let me pull up that card. Berlanga. Tapology. Yeah, I don't know what's taking so long for this press conference. I would guess they're waiting for Merab to talk about his win. But Dana White needs to get his ass out there and speak to the media. Because I still want to do Thai fight, and that's in 4 hours now. Unfortunately. Dana on suicide watch. Raul is 20 and his birthday is today. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Get this up. All right. So, yeah, we'll talk a little Canelo Berlanga. Unfortunately, I want to go back and watch this fight here as a split decision win for Stephen Fulton. This is the fight I was most excited for on the card and may have possibly been fight of the card. It's going to take years for the champions. I hate to lose. What? I hate what the UFC has become at this point. Covering more fights later? Yeah, I'm going to cover Thai fight tomorrow morning. I might be a little late for that, but yeah, and like I said, we'll open up the panel. Actually, you know what? Might as well. Hank, come to StreamYard, hop in whenever. Yeah, definitely I thought this would be fight of the card, and it was fantastic for as much as I watched. I came in pretty late, I think in like the 6th or 7th round. Carlos Castro had dropped Stephen Fulton. He was beating the hell out of him, but Stephen Fulton kind of came back, made it competitive. He wins a split decision. Rolando Romero, a lot of people said he would lose. He pretty much cleaned up on Manuel Jaimes, who had some good moments in the card. But really the fight of the card for me was Caleb Plant versus Trevor McCumbee. Certainly Trevor McCumbee, like a guy that nobody really expected to win, was beating Caleb Plant up and bullying him for like the first 4 rounds. And then Caleb Plant just like figured it out, man. He cornered McCumbee and he just was landing shots, just punches and bunches up against the corner. He officially knocks him out in the 9th round, but a lot of people are saying the stoppage was premature, but in my opinion, McCumbee was definitely on his way out. So the next fight was Erislandy Lara. Danny Garcia just kind of quitting after a jab from Erislandy was certainly weird. This fight was terrible. And then Canelo Alvarez wins the unanimous decision over Edgar Berlanga. But one thing I will say about this fight is Edgar Berlanga made it interesting, not in his fighting ability, but just by all the weird shenanigans, right? Talking shit to Canelo, headbutting him. There was a weird moment where the referee got pushed down in some exchange of words between Canelo and Berlanga. But yeah, Canelo, man, he just kind of cleans up Berlanga. Wasn't really competitive, and it is what it is. Canelo gets another win. Viva la Mexico, Canelo. Hank are right. He is here. I'm going to bring him in just a second. Plant came on, but I still don't agree with the stoppage. McCumbee was still throwing. Yeah, and that I certainly understand that. Let's bring him in. What's up, brother? Ours white.
Well, like what's down?
Was great.
It's my
terrible.
Move, dude.
Dark, dangerous days ahead of the UFC. Well,
my mental health is way, way down. And, you know, Michael Bisping was with me for like 50% of the cards, so he knows what we're sharing the same brain cell at this point. We both have our same.
Yeah. So talk to me. Like, what's the deal?
Well, I had to deal with Alexa Grasso getting taken down each and every single round and held for, God, what was the combined time, dude? I don't even know.
It was like 14 minutes of control time.
Fuck me, dude. Awful. And honestly, there weren't any really good exchanges or memorable ones that I can think of. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, Alexa Grasso and Sean O'Malley's performances were very similar in that they were doing a lot of body shots. They were pressuring forward, but that was a mistake because every time they were throwing a 1-2, looks like they found themselves into a takedown. And it was always in the center. Like I always expected it to be like, because they pressured forward against the cage, that's the right time to shoot the takedown. No, Valentina and Merab were very smart, and they knew that the sudden takedowns were the ones that were going to hit. And I got to give them credit in that they knew exactly when to time it. Oh, shit. Here he comes. Here comes Uncle Fester.
Before we get started, guys, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize the firefighters and the first responders in Nevada who have been fighting these fires all week. They've been working around the clock to keep the state safe, and just want to say to all of them, thank you from the UFC. So let's start with that.
That was solid. But I hope he's not
just let him.
The attendance tonight was 16,024. Was sold out. It was a $22 million gate. It was the highest grossing. It was the highest grossing UFC event, highest grossing event at the Sphere. And we broke our record for number one merch sales in UFC history for this event.
It's number one on Chinese TikTok too.
Let's see.
Hold on, just let him talk. We'll react after.
Bahamondes and Ketlin, performance of the night, and then obviously Esteban and Zelhi.
Ketlin got a bonus.
Fight of the night.
Hell yeah!
That won $50,000. What's up? Who's first?
Dana, did the event live up to what you expected, and was there anything that you wanted to do that you didn't do that now you wish you had?
You gotta chill out.
Literally the whole thing.
I know you're mad,
but it went perfect. We didn't have a lot of time to rehearse. that was our big, worry coming in here, but they nailed it. The team absolutely nailed it. I mean,
Movies are
I
pretty
saw
good.
it, like I told you guys before, I saw it first when it was like 50% resolution. Then I was in here the other day for Thursday was our first full rehearsal. And Thursday was our first full rehearsal for that show. So the team
Wow.
killed it. It was absolutely amazing.
So does that, given the fact that you said yesterday it would be very profitable, it
Last
was an
movie was the worst, though.
extremely good event tonight. Do you change your mind about it being one and done?
No, I'm under contract with MGM. So, yeah, I'm under contract. You know, this thing, I told you guys leading up to this, the way that this whole thing played out tonight was meant to happen. So
That's all I do. I have a film
did it.
studies
we
minor.
killed it. And I mean, I have literally been getting blown up by everybody about this event. And I guess we did the other thing that we
also want to hear him
accomplished
talk
is it
about
translated
Marab.
well onto television too. I feel like people.
I think this is
felt
gonna be a
like
long
it was,
press conference.
Yeah,
it
really
was,
long.
a different experience.
Well, you can leave
than
anytime
they
you
did
want,
when
buddy.
we almost
Honestly, I
had
feel like
it.
Statesman's going to pass out by the time 4:30
Just want to
comes
get you to
down.
comment a little.
Jeez, dude, you are in a
at length
terrible
about the
fucking mood.
Zellhuber,
I fucking
Riverboat
hate
fight,
this
and
card. I wish I
especially
could erase
in
it.
the one round when I think it was the
Black
second round when he looked like he was going out.
I don't
And
know
for
why
that
you're on the
kid,
post show then.
to come back and fight back and land
Okay.
a couple shots at the end. I mean, the balls he showed and just kind of the heart that he showed in that at the end was incredible.
Yeah, I mean that's why that's fight of the night. I mean those guys were literally going toe to toe.
That was a great fight.
Both of them got hurt. Both of them recovered and
That I missed most
kept
of it.
swinging. It was incredible fight.
Is that rank up there with Henderson and Shogun and some of the best fights you've seen?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's one of the best.
100%, Sven.
And I want, Valentina's strategy was effective, but it kind of sucked the life out of the room. How disappointing was that to see that fight and sort of just, you could hear a pin drop as they were fighting?
You can
I
put
know how
on
to think about it.
$20 million worth of production, but you
Because it
can't
did
control
deserve
the
it.
fights. They're going to be what they are. So
Just shows how
I
shit
cannot
their
let that
card was.
drive me crazy.
And then just your thought in the main event. I mean, it seemed like an odd beginning there with Marab calling timeout, and I guess there was a kiss apparently.
Well, no, he didn't call timeout. What happened was Marab and O'Malley's corner were screaming at each other the whole beginning of the fight. They were yelling at each other back
Yeah, I
and forth.
thought
and
they
then
started
Herb Dean
it.
stepped in and told them to knock it off. Yeah, and then the kissing in the back and standing up and walking away before the bell. That I have no idea. Marab does.
No one mentioned
You know
it.
what I mean, yeah. It was weird, but not shocking.
Yeah,
Uh,
that
his
describes
performance
Rob in a
was
nutshell.
what everybody would have expected. Were you disappointed with Sean? Sean had fire in that last little bit when he was throwing those body kicks, but you didn't seem to see that fire from Sean maybe throughout that you might have expected.
I don't disagree with
Need
you.
to calm
He
the
looked
fuck
flat.
down,
He didn't
Matua.
look sharp. He didn't look crisp. And until the last round, he hurt him with that body shot. He knew he hurt him with the body shot, and he kept going in and trying to finish. But yeah, I don't agree. I mean, I looked at the punch stats. He's like 6 in a couple of the rounds. So
Had to give me a little bit of hope.
I don't know if you can put your finger on why he performed the way he did, but there was so many expectations on him, and this card was built and got so much hype, and then he is the star of the card. Do you think that might have impacted him in any way?
I mean, you'd have to ask him that. I don't know the answer to that question, but I think that he's one of those kids that lives for moments like this. I mean, this is what he's all about. He's that guy. I think that I don't know if he just got in there tonight and felt flat.
He always
some
says
nights
they
it's
fall
just-
flat. Never takes into account
It is what it
strategy of the
is.
other guy.
And then finally,
Oh, he was
where
just
does
off.
this night
Just
rank
wasn't
in
himself.
your greatest night?
think Sean was off
since
tonight,
you
though.
work with UFC.
No, I
Because
think Rob was just
given
back.
everything you pulled off, and given
Sean,
except
I
for
didn't-
the last
I didn't think
fight,
Sean would do
it was an
absolutely nothing.
unbelievable Night of
He's a
fights.
counter guy. There was no
where does
point
it
for
rank in
counter-strike.
your pantheon of great nights?
Yeah, it's right up there with COVID. I mean, going through COVID was really tough, challenging. And then this is
Yeah,
the same
Rob,
thing. We didn't
first.
have enough time to pull this event off. We didn't have enough time to rehearse this event. We spent shitloads of money on the production. And now when I kept telling you guys, I'm in this thing 17 million. I'm in this thing 20 million. You get the 20 million now, right? I mean, you saw it tonight. I mean, this is as good as the production quality in this building tonight was off the charts. And the thing that made this so, told you this was meant to happen. And
What?
doing Mexican Independence Day,
I manifested
sphere.
this trust.
you're actually telling a story. There's a story to be told rather than just
This is
fights.
just one
'Cause if you
chapter.
just do a fights on a regular fight night. Somebody came up to me and said, "This is so fucking awesome. You got to do 4th of July now for America." But the point is, there's stories to be told.
I'll
and
have
this
that
is the
one take
perfect
place in
place to tell
Mexico.
Mexican Independence Day story.
Last question for me, and I kind of alluded to this at the beginning, but was there anything that the building was technically capable of doing
Is that Aioli?
that was brought up to you that you didn't do?
No. Anybody in the haptic seats? Did you feel it tonight? Like, no. It was pretty cool. The seats, we did everything that, from the audio to the seats to you name it. We did everything that this building's capable of doing, and some things it's not capable of doing. It wasn't set up for. Just to give you guys an idea, think about this. For 30 years, we've had that center hung lighting grid above the octagon, right? And in that is lighting, cameras, microphones, audio, all that shit in the center. That thing went away. We had to figure out how to make that go away, and make it look good on television and make it look good in house. Yeah, it took 4 months to do that. It took 4 months to figure that out, and they were still. Did you guys look up and sometimes you'd see the lights shining through? That was the lighting grid that they actually installed. Our people installed behind the panels.
You should just
So
do
then
a
the question
DVD
is-
commentary for this.
That's 300 feet.
What?
The lighting grid's
Have a
40
DVD
feet.
commentary. It's going to win an
300
Emmy and
feet,
an Oscar
40 feet,
anyway.
and you have to have, you can't have shadows in the octagon. Shadows on
DVD
the bodies.
commentary of the,
I was writing the
4 months
story.
just to
event.
do that,
Yeah.
just to give you some perspective.
Brad
because
Bird
Nobody will ever
commentary.
really understand how hard this was.
cool story, Dan. Yeah, I agree. I kind of wanted.
right here.
Can you talk
Are
about
there any
fighting,
medical
please?
updates on Irene
Yeah.
and Brian? Because you shared those photos of like Irene's face was gashed open and Brian's eye was swollen shut.
Yeah, they got some stitches. That's about it. But they were transported for obviously head and face scans, and I think they're good. I think they came back good.
And at the press conference, you told all the fans like show up early, show up on time, and it seems almost at capacity for the Royal Roast and stuff.
Yeah.
So Vegas obviously
Saturday Night Live's
get the
winning that.
triple-ins for the main cards. Usually you can count everyone in the stands for the first fight, but were you pleasantly surprised that they're almost at capacity for the first fight?
I would. Someone would tell him that.
Listen, that's what this was all about. It was about the Sphere. So you don't want to show up at 8. You know what I mean? And people were interested. People wanted to see it. People wanted to experience it. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did anyone hit you up about all the Easter eggs that you said you?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Is Eric in here?
Savage
didn't-
Mr.
They
Fox.
did?
I mean, maybe. I
We
think
didn't-
Marab.
No way.
We didn't know how to scrap. I've never seen Marab scrap with anybody.
Huh?
They're being really kind to him, not talking
How many
about the fight
submissions are there?
or the main event.
Give me a ballpark. All right. We have no idea what's going on right now.
Dana, to your left. Diego Lopez. If it wasn't for Alex Pereira, Diego Lopez would probably be the fight of the year. Can you talk about
Oh,
his
hey, talk
performance
about Diego.
tonight against a stud like Brian Ortega?
Yeah. So what was fascinating to me was he hurt him, drops him, right out the gates, and then jumps on top of him instead of having him stand back up and trying to finish him, almost like he wanted to submit him or something.
I agree, Weedy.
I don't know if that was the case, but I think he made the fight a lot tougher than it had to be for him. And I think a lot of people were sleeping on him because of the Ige fight. And yeah, he definitely put that behind him.
On
They
this
should
night, I
invest
know
more in
there's-
Eastern
before
Europe
we
and
didn't get
in
a
South
chance to see it,
Africa.
but now that we've seen, is there anything that you take away from what you did tonight and apply it to future cards?
Tons of things. Yeah, there's lots of cameras that we use tonight, drones that we use tonight. And
That was
yeah,
the drone shots
some
were
of this
pretty
stuff will
fucking
spill
cool.
over into
And
Nachos
production.
was screaming for free. I'm still pissed off. I didn't really like the above the
Not
cage
really,
angle.
no,
Me
I don't.
personally.
I don't ever enjoy it. It's,
I just
it's
like the
actually a sick,
creeping
disgusting
camera
thing to have.
crane
It's
around.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah. For
we
sure.
build these things up, and I want them to be over. You know what I mean? I just want to get through it. It's not a fun way to do it, but it's how I don't know how I sort of deal with it. Yeah.
And I know you mentioned there's going to be a documentary on this.
He's in
right?
tune with the culture,
Yeah,
Matua. He's in
any
tune
idea?
with just like
He's definitely
You're
Mexican.
right now.
it's
It's
Mexican. Mexican.
There you go. You're in it.
Thanks.
Danny right here.
There was some canned laughter
Yep.
there.
You set the goal at greatest live sporting event. that's
All
ever
right,
been done.
this seems like it's
So
just going to be a day.
set-
Yeah.
Late
Yeah, they're
session.
not you fucking
I mean,
awful, dude. Didn't ask one question about Valentina. Didn't ask. one
They might get
question
into it
about-
later. I'll watch it later, but yeah, that's kind of dragging on about the event in and of itself. So I guess I'll just ask you your thoughts on the event overall. Give me an overall card rating, the production, everything.
If I added production to it, I think the score would actually go up. But I judge MMA fights solely on. I mean,
Yes.
MMA cards solely on fight quality, and I think this is 3.5.
Wow. And that's funny because usually you're the one like a little more positive, and I gave this card like 7.5, 8.
I fucking hate this card.
Yeah, I can tell you're in a terrible fucking mood. It's actually kind of weird to see you like. I've never really seen you like this. Is the thing I'm getting at. But yeah, no, the prelims were fantastic all the way up to the Brian Ortega fight was perfect. I mean, not perfect.
I didn't like Rosas Jr. versus Orochi Lang. I didn't enjoy that. Van versus Shirez was a decent scrap. Good for Souza. That knockdown was pretty cool.
That was amazing.
Was really a fan of Bahamontes. I mean, I wasn't happy with it because I like Manuel Torres, and to see him just get utterly dismantled like that is like, why did I even invest in him in the
Yeah,
first
but I mean, dude, you can't hedge the like quality of the card based on how you thought it would go.
But I'm saying that was
Success
a
of
great
the fighters you like.
I'm saying personally, I didn't like the outcome. That doesn't impact my rating of the actual fight. Awesome. Double knockdown for Bahamontes, masterclass, dude. And then fucking Dumont fucking brutalized Irene Aldana. It was like picture perfect. It was like Sean Brady. I think where I really started to sour on the card was Ronaldo Rodriguez and Ode Osborne, because I don't think Rodriguez won that fight.
Yeah, I thought that it should have been a draw personally. But
yeah, but I just feel like the cartel got its fucking way there. But then I think the biggest highlight was definitely Ribovic and Zellhuber. Absolutely incredible back and forth.
That was fight of the night for sure.
Fight for Ribovic. I felt very happy for Ribovic, but I still think it would be the bright spot regardless of who won that one. But that was the best moment. And then honestly, I wasn't that big a fan of Lopez versus Ortega. Everybody's giving it a lot of hype, but he knocked him down in the first round, and then it was little pitter-patter shots back and forth after that. Oh, he got the takedown.
He hurt him again, I think, in the third.
Yeah, but not as much as the first time. And then after that, it was just all downhill from there. The co-main event and the main event, not only in terms of the fights, but what it means for the future of the sport and the future of the pay-per-view cards that I have to fucking watch in live time. Honestly, worst possible outcomes could have possibly happened. I mean, maybe I'll be rooting for Umar, but I hope they both fucking snap their legs. I hate both of them. So
yeah, I mean, I think
not
that's
looking forward.
that's definitely a tough take to have, but yeah, I get it. I guess if you're, like I said, initially, like, I guess I understand if you're a little more sour because you commentated the fight the entire time. But yeah, man, I mean, definitely like watching Chevy and Grasso fight now for 65 minutes is a drag at this point. And I think that both fighters get fatigued, right? And you can see it in Val, just like knew exactly what she needed to do to win the fight. I know you don't want to talk about the fight, but
maybe
as boring as possible. What's that?
I could improve the score maybe to 5.
Yeah,
maybe
but
5.
Valentina just did exactly what she needed to do. Just control Alexa, safest possible, fight she could have had.
But the thing is, she was still trying to have that same strategy in the second fight, and it turned into a great fight. But she tried now, and I blame Grasso for that being horrible.
Yes.
100%.
She did absolutely nothing.
She had fucking nothing.
For me personally, even though we both picked Sean O'Malley to win by knockout. I enjoyed watching Sean just get dominated for 5 rounds. But I will say, like, where are we at in MMA where arguing with the cornermen, kissing a fighter, Herb Dean just having a horrible night, in my opinion. It was funny to see him enforce the rules for the glove grab. But it's like, dude, you've never done that before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You actually enforce the rules. But I was just like, dude, this is the point we're at in fucking bantamweight championship fights. Are you serious?
I think the problem is that these referees are going all over the world, going to every single promotion, not just UFC. They're going to one. Bellator, LFA, PFL. I think it's to the point where they've just lost like commitment to one organization, and now they're just on autopilot. Okay, it's my job, it's my day job. I flew all the way here. Just be the same ref I was in PFL that I was in 1F in UFC. I say no. If you want to actually have these referees do a good job, keep them in one promotion.
Well, they can though because they don't make enough money.
Yeah, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like them being everywhere is just taking out the instinct.
I think that Matua was just messing with you, Weedy. But yeah. And as far as the future of the division, I think that Manon Fiorot is like the only person that should be fighting Valentina Shevchenko next. But as far as Merab,
You
like
know, it would
that
actually
Umar
be-
fight, I think will be a more interesting fight than either of their last two fights were, just because the styles mesh a little bit better.
It would actually be very satisfying to see Valentina just take Menon down over and over and over and over again.
It sucked. Yeah,
No, I'd enjoy it fully. Like how some people are feeling about Merab and Sean, I'd feel double if
you
Valentina.
don't like Menon.
hater. So
All
that'll
right.
be nice.
Well, yeah, man, I don't understand this energy from you. It's just like you're so sour on this event, man. It's crazy. Like it actually physically made you upset, and that's something you shouldn't be letting MMA do to you, man. Like, and that's why I don't take this shit as seriously as you do.
How it's been since 2023. Actually, since the start of this year, I've never felt more bad. This whole year has just been schlock, dude. Aside from 300 and maybe 305 and a few select fight nights, I want to erase the whole year from my memory, dude. It's just getting worse and worse. So it's not even a falling out of love with the sport. I went to LFA the day before, loved it, couldn't get enough of it. I think it was way better than this card because there was just a sense of fucking passion and community, and there was every once in a while a moment where a local fighter won and the place fucking blew, and that was great. And they were on a streak of like, okay, there's a few finishes here and there. And there were only like 2 fights that I thought were boring. With this, I could count like fucking 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it sounds like your expectations are too high for MMA, and certainly the UFC at this stage, right? Like, it's just a commercial product. They got to just rail off event after event, week after week. You know,
They're not going to be commercial as long as they have some of these champions on top.
they will. They will. They've got huge big time deals with different TV.
Well, it's like WWE, where like the ratings are down. They're always down, especially in that period from like 2015 to 2018, 2019. Worst shows ever, worst gates ever, and they were still making profits. So
yeah, but I mean, I think that you should be understanding like what the UFC is at this point and realize that it is what it is. You know, like there's nothing we're going to be able to do. That fighter lawsuit got reopened, but even that, like that and like actual federal intervention to like make MMA more like boxing is the only thing that's going to change.
Yeah.
And that's what you get when you have a monopoly on the sport. I know it's not a monopoly, but it damn near is, right?
Yeah.
It's a watered down product. Look at how many guys off, like I've been saying for weeks, Contender Series, Road to UFC, and Tough that don't win the show that end up getting into the UFC, you know? So it's just like, it's just filling time. That's all that they're doing. They're just trying to fill time.
Yeah. There are going to be so many exciting prospects that we like now that we're going to just hate in the years to come. Just everything that made them special. It's all just going to get thrown out the window the higher and higher they go up their rankings. So I think honestly, we just got so many fucking people on this roster that eventually it's just going to take all the energy out of these fighters. That's how it usually goes.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
I mean, you know, Sean O'Malley, hey, he's doing fucking spin kicks. He's doing crazy shit to the knee. Oh my God, the 1-2 KO from O'Malley. And now he's just waiting for a counter shot. Oh, O'Malley coming forward with a 1-2. And there is once in a while a knee up the middle.
But even you just said to me that it was based solely off of Merab's performance. I would agree with you. I think that
I'm talking about
Sean
Grasso.
definitely
I
looked
said it
flat
was
tonight,
100% on Grasso.
What's that?
I said it was 100% on Grasso during the co-main event. I wasn't talking about the main event.
You just said that Sean O'Malley was an exciting fighter, and then tonight he was just looking for counters and being boring.
I'm obviously that was the fucking backup plan. That's what he was doing with fucking Aljo. That's what he did in that fight. So it makes sense that he'd want to be the counterpuncher here, and it didn't work.
Right, but what I'm saying is that you said that prospects are going to climb, they're going to be exciting, and then they're going to just get the life sucked out of them. Like, I don't understand that.
I think O'Malley's fucking 30% of the fighter he was before. I mean, if he's not going against the number 6 in Marlon Chito Vera, he's champion O'Malley, and then there's champion Leon Edwards. No, I don't know.
Leon's always like not really the most exciting fighter, though. I just don't understand this argument.
Yeah.
I think that prospects are who they are. I mean, you have to do certain things to win a title. And Sean O'Malley, I would argue his toughest fight climbing the ladder was Petr Yan. That was a dog fight, but you know, after the Aljamain Sterling like performance, he just looked so good in that spot in such a quick fight. And then fighting Chito was like a really favorable matchup against a guy who never really does much of anything until he just wins the fight, sort of like Ortega. But yeah, and exactly as Merab said, or as Matua said, Merab was just the better guy tonight. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that Sean did a lot either, you know, in the fight. I was just surprised at how little he did.
Yeah. Well, he was forced to come forward, and it seemed like he really didn't have much in terms of what he was going to do when he was coming forward. He just did a 1-2 and a body shot every once in a while. It was the most basic shit I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you seem like you're about to cry right now, dude. This is bad.
I just wish I could just wait a couple days and just.
Well, you didn't have to come on the post show, man. I told you you could hop in. You know you can hop in whenever you want. I'll continue to do post shows, but
okay.
I'm just trying to run down the fights and want to react to the press conference. So yeah.
All right, I'll catch you later then.
All right, sounds good, man. Let's see ya. All right, there he was, Hank the Tank. Holy shit. Nah, man, you just let it slide. It's just fights. You bet money, don't let no one know. Merab was a better MMA fighter. It's okay. You think if Chicago Bears lose on Sunday, it fucks me up on Monday. No, man, I just pick up and move on. You know, man, there was a point where I was in the Topology Pick'em group where I let my picks like really ruin the card for me. But at the end of the day, man, like this is MMA. You never really know what's going to happen. There could be just this fight we think is going to be a banger, and it turns out to be a shitty fight. Skate didn't expect that. I don't think anybody, unless you probably watched Hank's whole stream earlier, I don't think anybody expected that. But you know what? My man's on his grind. He's trying to do as much content as he can. I think that's kind of starting to just weigh on him a little bit, right? Like he wants the fights to be so good, and they're just routinely not. And especially at the UFC level. But I mean, really, man, I mean, this is why I like one a lot, because I like Muay Thai. I like stand-up striking, you know. But speaking of which, I'm gonna have to end the stream here soon because I want to do Thai fight tomorrow morning. I'll probably be a little late for that. It is here in 4 hours, so I do need to get some sleep. But he needs to have reasonable expectations. Yeah, you know, but I definitely had my period of time where I fell in love with MMA, and then I started to once you like. A good friend of mine, Degenerate Dane, once told me, he's like, hey, the more you look into it and all these storylines and like what's really happening inside of the sport, the more frustrated you get with the sport, right? I mean, just when you think about like fighter pay in general, it makes it weird that you know, these guys are taking brain damage for such little money. The juxtaposition between you two was kind of funny. He was losing it by the end of the card tonight. That sucks, man. And also, I watched Canelo at the same time. How much money did Hank lose? He doesn't bet. So, what's fight tomorrow? Yeah, I'm gonna do Thai fight tomorrow morning. Probably we'll have to push it back another hour. Got some old head. I read all that. I see a lot of it, but what the fuck can I do? Exactly. There's nothing you can do. You either watch the fights or you don't, you know, and the more that you get into it, the more you see how the sausage is made, the more you realize how fucked up the sport is. Same with boxing, right? There's a fantastic movie out there. Weedy, I know you've seen it many times. It's called The Great White Hype. And Jay from Rush Hour recommended it to me, and I loved that movie. It was funny, but when I got done watching the movie, I was like, dude, that's fucking boxing. Like, you're like, dude, like the movie was so good at outlining how boxing works that you were just kind of bummed by the end of it. You're like, dude, shit, that's exactly what happens in the sport of combat sports. Hank dipped. Yes, he did. He definitely dipped. He is not having a good time. Especially boxing. Great White Hype is good. Great White Hype. It's a satire. It's funny but true. Exactly. It's like, dude, wow, that was way too realistic, you know, for a comedy movie. Best boxing film, real quick. I haven't seen too many. I you know what? This is a hot take, but I hated Raging Bull. Hated that movie. The movie sucked. Maybe just because God, what the fuck is his name? I mean, like as a movie, it was fine, but maybe I just hate what's his name, the guy being depicted. I can always forget his fucking name. God, help me out. What was the name of that guy? But I hated that movie. So yeah, Great White Hype is definitely my favorite. I'm a comedy movie guy, but yeah, you know what? That's the show though, man. The juxtaposition between Hank and I, that is the entire show. And partly why maybe we shouldn't do as many shows together, like long format, you know, like 2 hours of us going back and forth is fine. But, you know, I really wasn't that sour on the card tonight. I kind of, no, not Robert De Niro, yes, but the guy being depicted. God, what the fuck is his name? If I can figure this out. Robinson versus Jake LaMotta. Yeah, maybe just because Jake LaMotta is such a piece of shit is why I didn't like the movie. But certainly the movie, like as a movie, was fine. But also didn't like how they depicted Sugar Ray like Robinson. It's like what the fuck. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't that sour on the card tonight. Obviously, the last two fights were pretty terrible, but overall the card was all right. Like that the UFC did some new stuff. We'll have a full breakdown between Hank and I tomorrow. Be sure to catch that. But yeah, I mean, shit. I went for an hour. I'm gonna do Thai fight tomorrow morning, so I gotta wake up early. I think that's it for me, unless anyone else has anything else to say. Watch the fights with a bunch of you guys. Sweet card, y'all don't like grappling. Definitely don't like blanketing. I think that there's a way to make it a little more exciting, and definitely with like pride rules, the grappling can be more entertaining. Have a good night. Hey, you too. Thank you. I was disappointed Canelo didn't finish Berlanga, but what the fuck I'm gonna do? Yeah, that was a weird fight too. Definitely interesting with all the shenanigans. Fuck UFC 306. Yes, we know, Hank. But anyway, that's the show, you guys. Catch us tomorrow. Catch me tomorrow morning. I'll be doing Thai fight if you're up. If not, you got other shit to do. It is what it is. But until then, don't take MMA too seriously.